In this segment, we will talk about visualization of data and its importance. We have realized that when we sometimes collect data, we often discover certain pattern or relationships that is embedded in the dataset, and that can be interpreted in a visual way that will jump at the audience very quickly. When we talk about visualizing data, again we deal with categorical variable as well as numerical variable. Under categorical variable, we can look at bar chart, we can look at pie chart, and also we can look at the Pareto chart. And especially for summary data, bar chart, pie chart, and Pareto chart can be a good way of representing summary data. Now, what is bar chart? Bar chart compares different categories by using individual bars to represent the tallies for each category. The length of a bar represents the amount, frequency, or percentage of values falling into a category which come from the summary table of the variable. So again, this can only be used for categorical variable which has only one component, not when categorical variable has more than one characteristics or attributes. So in this example on page 40, we look at how adults pay monthly bills, and we can compare between cash, check, electronic, online, and other ways of paying bills. So clearly, check is by far the most predominant one, which accounts for more than 55%, and cash is about 15%, and this is quite typical. The other way also we can visually demonstrate categorical data is through pie chart. A pie chart uses part of a circle to represent the tallies of each category. 360-degree represents 100%, and depending on what the segments are, in this case of the adult payment system, the adult monthly bill pay system, cash represents 15%, electronic online 28%, and check about 54%. So if you look at this pie, you can clearly understand which dominates the monthly bill payment system. Obviously, check. Yet there is yet another way of representing categorical variable. It's called the Pareto chart. The Pareto chart exists when the majority of items in a set of data occur in a small number of categories and the few remaining items are spread over a large number of categories. So there is a way of if there are variables which are highly concentrated within a certain range, and the other ones are loosely spread out over a wider range, a good way to assess that data set would be to use the Pareto chart. In other words, these two groups are often referred to as the vital few and the trivial many. And if you look at the ATM transactions at the bottom of page 43 from this incomplete ATM transactions data, the warped card jammed is about 50%, and magnetic strip unreadable about 30%, and the rest of them are evenly distributed between 5 to 2%. So that doesn't uh, so in that case what we have is the concentration is only for warped, card jammed, and magnetic strip unreadable. So these are the dominating factor, and it can be easily demonstrated using the Pareto chart. In addition to that, we can also use a side-by-side chart, and this would be a case of contingency table. So we can use a side-by-side chart to demonstrate the case of contingency table, and there is a picture shown on page 45. So you might want to have a look at it. Next thing we're going to talk about is visualizing numerical data, and there are different ways we can also represent numerical data. We can look at the stem and leaf display, we can look at histogram, I have to go because I have a phone call.